You have heard the stories. Angels appearing in blinding light, demons lurking in the shadows. For thousands of years, we filed these under myth, religion, or mental illness. Science demanded proof, and when we couldn't produce a body or a blood sample, the door was slammed shut. But what if we were looking in the wrong place? What if we were trying to find 3D evidence for 11D beings? Right now, in the quiet corners of theoretical physics and consciousness research, a new picture is emerging. It is a picture that doesn't disprove the spiritual realm, but actually gives it a mathematical framework. We are going to walk through the leaked data, the controversial experiments, and the cutting-edge theories that suggest the veil between us and them is thinner than we think. This is the story of how multiverse theory might just be the scientific term for the spirit realm. We have to start with the physics of the unseen. Standard physics works great for building bridges and launching rockets, but when you get down to the quantum level, the building blocks of reality, the math breaks. To fix it, physicists developed string theory. This theory suggests that our entire universe is made of tiny vibrating strings. But here is the catch. For the math to work, there have to be at least 11 dimensions. We live in 3D. We move through time. That leaves 7 dimensions unaccounted for. Mainstream science says they are curled up, too small to see. But a controversial subset of data analysts, looking at the raw numbers from particle accelerators like the Large Hadron Collider, claim they have found something else. They call it the dimensional code. The claim, which is absolutely unverified by mainstream institutions, is that they are seeing fleeting, high-energy signatures that don't match any known particle. These signatures come in 2 distinct flavors. Signature A is harmonic. It is orderly. It follows a mathematical structure similar to music. Signature B is chaotic. It is dissonant. It behaves like a virus, disrupting the data around it. The theory? These aren't particles. These are the footprints of interdimensional entities moving through the bulk, the higher dimensional space that our universe floats in. Ancient cultures called them angels and demons. M-theory might just call them higher dimensional positive/negative energy structures. But if they are out there, how do we hear them? This brings us to the receiver, your brain. In the 1980s, Dr. Michael Persinger developed the God helmet. It used magnetic fields to stimulate the temporal lobes of the brain. He found he could artificially create a sensed presence, the feeling that someone is in the room. Skeptics said this proved God was all in our heads. But then, according to underground rumors and unauthenticated leaked notes from private research, the experiment was taken further. They allegedly found that by tuning the frequency, they could change the nature of the presence. At one frequency, subjects reported the chorus, a feeling of overwhelming love, unity, and a presence that communicated peace. At a discordant frequency, they reported the static, a feeling of pure dread, malevolence, and the sensation of being watched by something predatory. The conclusion of these fringe researchers? The brain isn't creating the entities. The brain is a radio. The magnetic fields were just turning the dial. We are constantly bathed in these signals, but our receiver is usually tuned to the 3D channel. Shift the frequency, and suddenly, the invisible becomes visible. This leads us to the digital frontier, the ITC anomalies. Instrumental transcommunication is usually dismissed as ghost-hunting pseudoscience. It involves recording static and looking for voices. But a group of data scientists allegedly applied modern AI and big data analysis to thousands of hours of this static. They claim the AI didn't just find random noise, it found syntax. The AI reportedly identified 2 distinct linguistic patterns hidden in the white noise. The first, nicknamed angelic script, was tonal, complex, and mathematically perfect. The second, the inverted tongue, was guttural, fragmented, and mirrored human speech in bizarre ways. Again, mainstream science calls this pareidolia, our brains finding patterns where there are none. But the persistence of these specific, opposing patterns across different datasets is unsettling. Finally, we have to look at the clinical evidence. Enter Dr. Richard Gallagher. He isn't a fringe theorist. He is a board-certified, Ivy League-educated psychiatrist. He is the guy the church calls when they need to know if someone is mentally ill or something else. For 25 years, he has documented cases of what he calls demonic possession. He is a man of science, so he rules out schizophrenia, epilepsy, psychosis. But he claims there are cases that defy medicine. He reports patients who can speak fluent Latin without ever learning, patients who know secret details about his life that they couldn't possibly know, patients who demonstrate physical strength impossible for their build. Gallagher's conclusion is terrifying. Medical science can explain 99% of cases, but that 1%? That 1% is evidence of an external, intelligent, malevolent force interacting with human consciousness. He calls it the demonic. So let's tie it all together. We have string theory providing the location. We have the God helmet providing the mechanism. We have AI analysis providing the communication. And we have clinical psychiatry providing the impact. Are these definitive proofs? No. Science demands repeatability, and the supernatural is, by definition, unpredictable. But the convergence of these different fields is painting a picture that looks a lot like the ancient worldview. Maybe the war in heaven isn't a myth. Maybe it's a description of a conflict happening in the dimensions right above our heads. Maybe dark matter is just the scientific term for the spiritual weight of these unseen worlds. We are standing on the edge of a new understanding. We are realizing that supernatural might just mean super scientific physics we just haven't figured out yet. I want to know what you think. Is this just pattern seeking, or are we finally cracking the code? Have you ever had an experience that science couldn't explain? Tell me in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring the edge of reality, subscribe. The truth is out there, and it's stranger than we can imagine.